everyone.
Morning.
Welcome back to Beadaholique. I'm Kat Sylvie and I'm joined by Alexandra Smith, and today we are diving into our live class all about getting organized. So we have lots of stuff to show you, lots of tips and tricks that we've sort of come up with over the years of trying to organize our space continuously. So hopefully you guys will be able to share some of your tips with us as well. So we are here, we're live, we're answering your questions, and we're going to talk about everything you see here. So if you want to kind of come in and go ahead and take a quick look here. I know we got a lot of big pieces. So we are going to be focusing on, tool storage, bead storage, needle storage. We also have some great solutions for keeping your jewelry nice and pretty with some anti-tarnish and some cleaning solutions here as well.
Yeah, how to stay organized on the go.
Very key.
Yeah.
Especially, if you don't have a permanent craft space, you are kind of always on the go, even if you're just in your house.
Yes.
So I know that's how I started out. It's like, oh, I gotta move it for dinner, off the table.
Yeah.
So we have some great stuff for that. So if you've joined us live, you know that we always do a giveaway. So let's start off by showing you the giveaway. And I'm actually gonna be showing you a couple of pieces that we'll dive into a little bit further later in the class. All right, so let's bring it out here. And you can see this is a big bulky one. So what we're going to do is we're going to give you guys one of these. Now this is the Beadsmith storage, and let me kind of flip it over on the back so you can see. This has all little boxes and things in here, and I'm going to actually showcase this in just a moment, but we're going to give you one in our giveaway here. We're also going to be giving you some anti-tarnish bags, and these are going to be really great for keeping your jewelry nice and pretty and tarnish free. We're giving you a silver Rite polish pad. We're also going to give you some of those little tiny anti-tarnish papers, and those are going to be really good to use in the other bags as well. We're giving you a couple storage pieces here. Now these are really wonderful. They have nice little removable pieces here, so you can make them suit your sizes and your needs. So you can put eye pins, jump rings, anything you want in these guys. So you're going to get a pair of those. We're going to give you a scoop, and this is a really fun tool. I'm going to show you how to use this. This is going to help fill all your little tubes with seed beads and sort of organize your space. And then the last thing we're going to give you is this is a wood plier block, and you can actually see an example of that right down here. So you can see that I have pliers and I have some bead tubes in there as well. So we're going to be giving you all of this, and all you need to do to win, and we're going to announce our winner live, is just leave a comment, leave a question, let us know what your favorite solution for keeping your stuff organized is, and we will be here, and we're just going to be talking throughout this whole hour, and just leave a comment and we'll announce our winner live at the very end.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, where would you like to start?
Well, let me start by actually showing you this beautiful storage case. So this is really fun. This is one of the first things that I bought when I started here and I needed a storage solution. So these are really cool. They're little boxes here, and they have large boxes and small boxes, and I actually have a couple examples over here of some of the sizes with some beads in there, just so you can see how that works. So there's some big ones, some small ones, there's even smaller ones here. Nice and tiny and cute. And what I love about this is they're clear, so even though they're filed vertically, you can see what you need, and you can kind of color coordinate things. So let's say you wanted to put all your jump rings in front, you can have all your gold together and all your silver together. And the other thing that I did with these guys is in the bottom, what you can do is you can put a little sticky note if you need to be reminded, oh, these are my 5mm 20 gauge jump rings. So you can just put that right in the bottom, and then it's removable. So it's not like you're writing on top of it with like a Sharpie. You can do that as well. But that way you kind of remember like, oh, these are my 8mm beads or what you might need.
Right.
So, and it also comes with a couple of larger cases like this, and this is really fun because you actually get a couple of little tools in here. So let me just pop this open. And I love that these are really secure little pops too. You saw it was hard for me to get that open at first. So you get a nice little pair of tweezers in here, and you'll also get a little scoop. Now this is sort of really perfect for scooping out your beads in your small little cases here. So you can get your little beads out there as opposed to having to dump the whole thing. So it's a nice little sort of metal scoop that you'll get, and a nice little pair of pliers. So this is a great solution if you're doing a lot of head pins or longer pieces or chain or anything like that. Yeah. So you can use the larger pieces as well. So this is a really, really neat thing. And like I said, I really do enjoy how they are filed vertically in there. So when you close it up and you kind of set it down in there, you'll be able to see from the top down what you need.
Now it's great that they all fit in the box, but that's not to say you would have to keep them in there. I think those could be very handy containers for putting in all different configurations on your shelves or wherever you need them.
Absolutely, yeah, because some of these are actually nested into each other. So what you can do is you can actually, you know, take out several pieces, and if you wanted to like stack them up and have them, you know, maybe your most frequently used ones, like I said, if it's jump rings or a clasp, you know, like you have your lobster clasps in one place, so you can utilize those as well.
So individual containers like that are an alternative to, say, tackle boxes or tool boxes or other sorts of alternative ways that I have used of storing my beads. But I think that this brings up a good topic, which is visibility and keeping things where you can see them. Because I know out of sight, out of mind, we've been talking about if you put things away, sometimes you forget you have them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people kind of start with that, with either a tackle box or
shoebox.
Shoe boxes. Yes, I used to keep things like filed in shoe boxes, and and then it's all kind of in there at once, and it's hard to see to the bottom. I like how this is nice and shallow, so you get one layer. So that's really nice. And this is also something where I always had craft drawers, but again, like you'd have to open each drawer to see what was inside. So this is sort of, again, I just really like the clarity of this in particular.
Yeah.
But yeah, tackle boxes, those are a great place to start. And then this I just like because, beads are tiny, so you don't always need the big pieces that come in those as well. So yeah, so that was what was in the giveaway. So I just wanted to start there at the very first topic. But let's move on and let's talk a little bit about bagging things and some of the anti-tarnish and some of the cleaners that we have here at Beadaholique. So let me kind of run through the 4 things that I have up here. So this is the Shine Bright. Now this is a silver dip, but you can also use it with other metals as well. This is going to be very typical. You've probably seen stuff like this before where it has this little basket and this little solution. So you place your piece inside the basket and sort of dip it down into the solution. And then you rinse it off and let it dry. So you can wipe it clean with like a nice little soft cloth there. Now I will say this, they recommend it for silver, but you can also use it for like a gold filled, and it says it easily removes tarnish to restore shine and brilliance to all metal jewelry. So this is a nice, easy solution. However, please, anytime you get something like this, read the warnings, because on the back I'm noticing it says, do not use on pearls, opals, or other porous materials. So this might not be the best solution if you're trying to clean gemstones. And for that, we do have this one over here. Now this is a little bit more of a spray, so this is a liquid jewelry cleaner. And this is something that you're going to want to use for your sterling silver, your 14 karat gold, platinum, copper. It also will clean diamonds, rubies, sapphires, all of those types of pieces. And it does say on the back that it will clean lapis lazuli, turquoise, quartz, malachite, onyx, tiger's eye, hematite, and amethyst. That's
great. It's nice to know what's safe for those stones, because so often you see do not use for these stones, but that one says you can, so that's good.
And this one also says do not use for pearls and opals. So I think what is happening with a lot of those is they'll take on the porous material, or being porous, they'll take on the solution, and it'll make it, what's the word I'm trying to look for? It'll make it look tarnished and sort of crusty, but it'll also leave like almost something that looks very similar to like a water spot. So you want to be careful with that. So if you are doing something that does have pearls in it, what I recommend is actually using a pad like this, because this actually doesn't have a liquid to it. So you can use a polishing pad like this. Now I'm going to show you how to use this one in just a second. And we also have this one here as well. So it has like that dual layer. And this outside layer really is just to protect your hands and make sure that you are keeping this inside layer nice and ready to clean your silver jewelry. So I'm going to show you how that works in just a moment. But one other thing that you can do to protect your jewelry is you can use the Renaissance wax. Now this is a wax polish. So this is something that you would put on your jewelry once you've made it. So this actually will give it like a really soft sheen, and you just buff it on really lightly with a soft cloth. And this is going to provide just a little bit of longevity to your pieces. This is used by museums to sort of restore pieces as well. So this is something that's really neat for that. We do have a full video kind of going through exactly what you'd want to use this for. So you guys can check that out at beadaholique.com. And the other thing is we do have this little guy here. Now this won't necessarily clean your jewelry, but what this is an allergy. So this is Jewelry Shield, and you can see that it kind of looks like a nail polish there. And what this does is you paint it onto your metal piece. Let's say you have an earring post and you have sensitive ears to metal. So you can paint it onto the earring post, and you can paint several layers. The heavier the coat, the better. And what it does is it acts as a little sealant or a shield to use on your jewelry so that it doesn't irritate the skin. So this is great if you do have allergies. You can use this on rings as well. You can just sort of paint it along the inside. You can use it on bracelets, eyeglasses, watches, all kinds of fun things. So we do have a video going through exactly step-by-step how to use that, but it's pretty self-explanatory. Just let it dry for 20 minutes in between each coat and do as many coats as you feel is necessary to protect your skin. All right, so we have that as well. All right, so let's go back to the polishing pads here. So I have a couple pieces of sterling silver jewelry here. Now this one here, you can see that my infinity is a little bit dull. I've kept it in my drawer, but I realized that the bag wasn't sealed, so unfortunately that meant that air was able to get into it, so it has a little bit of kind of dullness to it. So we're going to see if we can shine that up. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take it in my pad here, and very lightly I'm just going to kind of take my fingers and just rub it over, and I'm just holding it steady with my other hand. Just rubbing it over there, trying to get in all the little crevices. And let's see if I can't get this baby to shine. Ooh, yeah, that works really well. All right, very nice. Yeah, so it's nice and shiny now. Now, if you have something where it's like a chain, and that's why I brought this one out. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't find a tarnished chain because we do try to keep our jewelry really nice here. But if you do have a chain that is tarnished, what you can do is you can kind of place it in there, place your fingers on top, and kind of run it through a little bit. And this will help sort of get that tarnish off of there. So you just, again, and you can do this several times. This is sort of a boxy chain, so you can rotate it and it'll restore that nice little shine to it. So it's really nice and easy. This is a great little piece to have. This is also something that I bring to shows with me in case I need to kind of polish anything up. And you can use this yellow side just to sort of add a little extra buff and a little extra polish without adding to it. So let's say you had a piece that, you know, just needed a little extra love, so you can do that as well. So yeah, so it's actually quite a bit shinier. Yeah. All right, so here's another piece I want to show you guys. This is another great solution. This is a polishing pad. Now what this is this actually has a little bit of, it feels like a really, really fine sandpaper, but it's actually this nice little foam here. But you can see that when you polish on it, it does take away that tarnish. Now here's a piece, and I wanted to show you what happens because we get a lot of questions on how do you clean plated jewelry. Now on this side, I have buffed it a little bit, and you can see that it's still really gold, but you can also see a little bit of that base color coming through because this is just 22 karat plated. So this isn't gold filled, so it's gonna have a little bit of that base metal coming through. Now let me show you the other side here. So this is how the other side was. Now this has been around for a number of years. I think this is maybe a piece that's almost 10 years old now. So I'm going to buff this, and I'm going to show you how you can try to clean some of your jewelry. Now here's what I'll say. If you're unsure of what the base metal is, or hey, it just looks tarnished, try on like a small little side piece of it so that you can see how it works. And because if you do end up buffing it, so you can see right there, it kind of became shiny. I'm really hoping this is coming through on camera there. But you can see how that tarnish came off on the pad there.
I can see from here, it looks quite shiny.
So, but you can also see that it's not quite as brassy. It's a little bit more gold, but here, let's go a little further and let's keep rubbing. There we go. And these pads you can just use and use and use until they are totally soiled, and then you can throw them away. All right, so now you can see all of that tarnish coming off, but you can actually see that it's almost turning silver, and that's because I've hit the little base metal on this. So you want to be careful if you are cleaning plated jewelry to just sort of give it a nice little gentle buff. So here's what I'll do. Because this is plated, I just want to give it a little bit of shine. So let's just go back and forth just a couple of times. You can see I'm not even pressing as much as I was before. So just a little bit of shine. So you can see how much I took off there and how much I took off the other side, but all I wanted to do is just give a little bit of shine to it, just to kind of restore that. So you guys can sort of, you know, buff it until it starts to come off so you can see that silver there. Or if you just want to give it a nice little quick little shine, go nice and gentle and really light. And then again, if you are doing this on multiple pieces, find that little side piece or a little piece on the bottom or the back that you can test that out on. So you want to be careful when doing plated jewelry, and sometimes the best solution is really just to try to see what you can do with one of the jewelry cleaners. And I know that this one, this liquid jewelry cleaner says that you can use a soft brush. And the brush that I often use is I will go and I will get a children's toothbrush because they're small and they're really, really soft. So that's a great little solution, especially if you are trying to get inside diamonds, if you're cleaning wedding jewelry or anything like that and you're trying to get into a setting, those little soft bristles will work perfectly for that. So yeah, so that's a couple of the cleaning solutions. So that's if your jewelry has tarnished. Now, if you want to keep your jewelry from tarnishing, we have a couple of solutions for that. And let's start with these anti-tarnish strips and little tabs here. Now these are really cool. It's just basically a little piece of paper and it's been coated with this solution. So you can put this into your bag, and these big ones here, these are going to be great to put into some of your storage solutions. So let's say you take this and you can actually place it into the bottom here of this piece here. And it's underneath there because all of these, while they do snap, they are not totally sealed. And even this, but what you want to do is you can have that in there and you can replace it every 6 months. So you can actually write on there the date it's inserted and replace that every 6 months to keep your jewelry, nice and tarnish free. Now let's say you had a bag here and you wanted to put your piece in. Well, let's say we can open that up and I want to put my little bracelet in there. Instead of just sealing it, which is a good solution, but one step further is to actually add one of these little tarnish pads. Now this is a really big pad for this bag, and you want to make sure you get all that air out.
So you could maybe cut that in half?
You could cut it in half, so you kind of get a little extra bang for your buck, especially if you're doing small pieces like this or you have small pairs of earrings. You can cut these little guys in half and they'll still last you a good long while. Now the reason that this will last you, I would say about a year, is that it's not exposed. If you put the pad into like the big tarnish strip into a box that's open, it will still kind of eventually sort of the gases will evaporate. So if you do it like this though, this will last a little bit longer, and even if you cut that in half, I'd say it'll last you a good year. And you can just sort of do this as a spring cleaning thing, just kind of replace your jewelry, or especially if you are going to shows, and many of the shows that I've done here in California have been very hot, and heat is not jewelry's friend. So you can actually keep your jewelry nice and clean and tidy just like that.
That's a great solution for keeping silver beads from tarnishing also, because I know in the past I've tried to polish individual beads and that's no fun. Yeah. I've sat and rubbed them against little pads like that. So I wish I'd had these when I was working with them.
Well, and I have these in the bottom of my jewelry case at home, just where, it is a little bit more open air, but, just especially if you live in a place that has any kind of humidity, if you're in Florida or, the Midwest, you're going to have humidity, it's just going to happen. Here's how you can kind of prevent that. Now, if you want to take it one step further, we do actually have anti-tarnish bags. Now, these are really cool. They do have a little color to them, so they have like a little milky bronze color. And let me just show you how this works. So this is going to work the same way. So you would just take your piece and stick it in there. And then that's it. So you want to make sure that you, again, kind of get all that air out, and then you can close it up. Now the good thing about this is because it's a bag and because the solution is all over the bag, this will last you about 3 years before you need to replace it. So this is a really great solution, and I do like that it still is fairly clear so that you can still see what's inside, so it's not like one of those coated bronze bags. I know on the website they don't look as transparent as this, but I did want to take a chance to show you exactly how that looks. But these are good for 3 years, and these come in several different sizes as well, which is great.
And it's helpful that it says here, if you're concerned about the chemical aspect of it, it says it's non-abrasive, non-toxic, and environmentally friendly. So I'm always, whenever I touch stuff like that, I kind of wonder in the back of my mind, and it's...
Yeah, but there's no film, there's no wax, there's nothing to this that's really going to get on your jewelry. Because that's the other thing too, is like you don't want to, come out and then it has spots or dust or some solution or some sort of liquid on it or anything like that. But these are totally dry. It's not like there's some solution in there. It's just what the bags are made of that are perfect for anti-tarnish. And again, I can't stress this enough. Make sure you get all of that air out of your bag. That will help keep it just even more. Because once you let air in, then your bag isn't doing its job,
Very good. Those are all
So,
particularly good tips
yeah.
if you are selling your jewelry or making gifts. Yep.
Yeah,
just
I
storing
will.
your own.
I'll include. I don't have one of our little craft boxes here, but we have these little craft boxes, and I'll always put one of these underneath a little pad in there if I'm selling a piece of jewelry,
Yeah.
and that way, at least for them getting it home, and I also include a little. Business card size of, hey, here's how to care for your jewelry, especially because it's different for each piece. So
Very good.
yeah. So that's sort of keeping your jewelry pretty once it's been made. Oh, I did want to show you this. So this was something that I spoke about a few live classes ago, and I showed it in a quick Facebook Live, but I wanted to show you guys one more time. So this is a really neat thing. So when I travel, I do the straw method. So this is one of the necklaces that I've made here, and because I don't know if you've been traveling and you stick it in a bag or you stick them all together and they kind of end up getting like that and they get all tangled. So here's one solution to make sure that does not happen. So I'm going to go ahead and separate my clasp there. And on the smaller side of my clasp, what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed it through this straw, and these are just little paper straws. You can get these at a 99-cent store or just any kind of craft store will have these. And then I just bring the two ends together, and now there we go. So now my jewelry is a lot easier. So if I have several necklaces, so now I can use my jewelry roller to just kind of roll them up, and they're all going to stay separated and they're not going to get tangled, which is great. And then because they're paper, you can cut them in half and do the same thing with like a bracelet.
Yeah.
So that is my straw tip. Everybody thinks I'm crazy, but especially when you're traveling, it's not like this is going to add weight to your, to your bag. I know we're all so concerned about the weight of carry-ons and everything like that. So especially if you are bringing several pieces, you can just kind of bring them all together and then kind of roll them up as you pack up your jewelry. So that is my official straw method.
So speaking of portability,
yes,
there are some really good options over on this side of the table that I wanted to share as well.
I think that's great. Yeah, this is one of my favorite things.
Yeah, here we have the Beadsmith storage bag. It's a crafter's tote, and you won't believe all the stuff it's going to fit in here, okay? So there are Velcro inserts that are removable and exchangeable. So there's one with these smaller pockets. You can fit all your tiny stuffs, stringing materials. You can fit your seed beads or other beads, your tools in the larger pocket. Flip it over and you've got more on this side for needles, components, wire, stringing, all the good stuff. And then what you can do is take these out. And if you need to switch what you're bringing, we have these sold individually as little replacements, and they just go right in as well. So this is the same thing, just empty, so you can see what that looks like. And this was one of the first things that I got when I started working here. I actually didn't realize the tote existed, and I would just carry my seed beads around in this handy little Velcro insert. So that's pretty fantastic. Kind of wish I had known about a lot of this stuff when I started out. So that's one wonderful thing.
That's really cool. And this is also one of those things where if you wanted to, you could just take this, and this could be sort of on your table, because if you only have enough space for one of these, you can just take this out, know that you kind of have a project, so you can actually kind of place one entire project in here with a tool, a needle, a thread, a beads, and then kind of have that, and then that's sort of your to-go bag,
So would move it away the same way that you could do with, for instance, these pads that keep your beads from rolling around.
Exactly.
So yeah, these are good tips for how to arrange your space. So I also want to show you this cool thing. And what we have here, here's a small version, and this is a portable bead tower. And so on each side there are these elastic loops that you can store tools and bead tubes. And so that's the smaller one, would fit portably in this bag. And the larger size is here.
And they come with these bags, which I think is so genius.
Yes, yep. So out comes this larger size. And the parts you have attached can fold on the inside, and then out like so. And you just Velcro the edges together and have this wonderful way of just lifting up whatever would be cluttering your space and keeping it off of your work area. That's always the big thing for me, is how do I keep my space clear?
Especially if you do have just a very small space, you don't have to have all your beads out. They can kind of be vertical.
And
I
it
like
just
the vertical
looks so
storage.
pretty.
I know, it does. Well, and then it's like easy, like, okay, I need my blue one, I need my orange one, you know, so it's just right there and nice and easy. Also, I think that it gives you a visual representation for when you're shopping of like, oh, I did buy the yellow, I need a different, you know, orange or something
when you're
like
getting
that.
low. And so I haven't even filled this to the max. This is half of what this side would hold. It'll also take the larger size tubes or tools. You can put tools on there
Yeah, I
as
like
well.
that it fits tools as well.
Yeah.
That's a neat solution.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it folds up nice and easy because it does have like little kind of expandable sides there. So, oh, I love that.
Yep. So, speaking of portable and tools, we've got just a couple of a lot of different tool sets we carry here at Beadaholique. So you can get really fun with the styles, and like these have ergonomic handles. And let's open this one too. These come in a whole bunch of different colors. These really pretty little leatherette cases, and then the tools match the bag.
I love it.
So cute.
That's a nice little beginner tool set as well because
Yeah,
you'll
let me
get
keep that open.
all the essentials. You know, you'll get your flat nose, you get your chain nose, your round nose, tweezers, split ring opener, nylon, bent nose, and cutters. So that really is a great
Covers
great
all your
kit.
bases. The nylon. Wow, look at that. Yeah.
I think also what I like is knowing visually that I've put everything away and that it's easy to take back out. Because one thing when especially when I first started doing this, I did it on the kitchen table and my mom made me clean up before dinner every time after school. So it's like I'd have to come home after school, set everything up, do my work, and then put it away. So it's like having something like that where it's like I know everything gets put away and then it's easy to take it out. I think that's one of the things, because if you put it away and it's not easy to take out, it's so hard to set up, everything's all over the place, you're not going to do it. And that's kind of the sad thing about being a creator, and especially working with tiny, tiny pieces, is that you want it to feel like you can set it up and have it be really creative for you and just get to the creative part, you know, like as much, I mean, I know a lot of creatives are not organizationally savvy.
Right. For some of us, for instance, for me, I've got 3 kids at home and no workspace. And so I'm very big on the packing up of stuff, putting it in a bag and taking it where I can work, like at a coffee shop or the library. But for those people who want their stuff out and not packed away, I think over here are some really good options for keeping your tools out where you can see them, because that's the other important aspect of this.
Yeah, so this is something that actually sits on our desks. You've probably seen it. This is a really nice little tool rack, and I like it because it fits all kinds of different sizes of tools. So I have in here, I have like the baby wubbers, and then I also have some like larger ones here, all kinds of different handle sizes, and they just sort of all kind of come in and sit up against here. And then it also is, if you can look, it has these little holes here so you can have things like tweezers staying up there as well. And then let's say you wanted to kind of move a couple of these out of the way. This picks up just like a little toolbox. So it's actually it's really nice. And so this is still portable, but then you also get a visual representation of what you've got to work with. So you can just reach in and just grab your round nose pliers or grab your bent nose pliers, and they're all right here for you.
I also love that little box on the far side.
This one?
Yes,
this
that appeals to me.
Yeah, so I pulled out the little drawer there in the bottom, but this is really wonderful. Again, this sort of sits a little lower. You can have papers. This almost looks like a letterbox type of thing, but you can have some of those smaller tools in here as well, and it'll accommodate that. You can put some larger tools, of course, as well, but you can kind of have everything filed. Let's say this is where you want to keep your bags, and then it has this nice little space down here for you to keep extra tools. And one thing that I always do, and I either have, it's a little mason jar or a little box like that, where I keep like the 3 extra seed beads that I didn't use, that I couldn't, that I'll find later. So I kind of have my little seed bead box, you know, right there. And then, of course, a nice little drawer to help push anything in, any other little tools. And then the last tool solution that we have here is one of the things that's in the giveaway. So this guy here, this is what I have on my desk. Again, you've probably seen it, probably hidden. I try to keep my desk fairly tiny when we do these.
We'll talk about maximizing space. I mean, that's how you do it right there.
So these are my 4 tools that I use most often. It's my cutters, my bent, my round, and my chain. So I use these 4 tools all the time, but you have extra spaces in the front, and that's actually a great solution to have these tubes. So we have these, and typically they're used for seed beads, but don't be afraid to use them for whatever you need. So this is going to be great for keeping head pins. You can also even keep jump rings, and we're going to go over some of that stuff in just a little bit here. But this is a great tool solution.
Yeah, and we do sell the empty tubes, is that right?
Yes, we do, of course. Mm-hmm. Yes. So one other thing I want to talk to you about as we talk about traveling is this little guy here. Now this is a really neat thing. This is the Beadsmith. This is the Traveler's Edition of their bead board. So you can see that it has this nice bead board here, and this is going to be great for, you know, kind of doing all of your bracelets and figuring everything out. But what's nice is this actually has a plastic cover on it, not this piece, but the actual plastic thing. So this is a tray with a plastic cover. So you can put it away and it's going to be smooth on top, so it's not just a bead board. You can actually use this to travel and keep your tools and whatnot in here. Mm-hmm. So this is a great other little solution for traveling, or if you are just even moving stuff around your house, let's say you want to use this and then kind of put everything away and snap it down so it'll stay nice and secure. Mm-hmm. So that's a great little option if you're mobile as well.
Right.
All right, so let me stick that under there. All right, while we're over here, let's just remind people of the giveaway because it just featured a few of those items I just spoke about. Ooh. All right, so we're going to give you the Beadsmith storage, and then I have one of those wood blocks there. And then we're going to go over these pieces again here in just a moment. We have some of those anti-tarnish bags. You're going to get a Shine Rite pad, some of the tarnish pieces here, and then a beautiful bead scoop. So all you need to do to win this is just leave a comment. Let us know where you're tuning in from or what your favorite storage solution piece is. Mm-hmm. So that's our giveaway, and we'll announce that in a little bit here at the end of our live broadcast.
Is there a question?
Right. And we do have a question.
Yeah, we have a couple of questions.
Great.
Mary on YouTube is wondering if the Renaissance wax can be used on polymer clay items.
Oh, okay. So Mary is asking if the Renaissance wax can be used on polymer clay. My instinct says no. It doesn't say that it can't. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to read it to you guys so you know. So protect valuable furniture, leather, paintings, metal, marble, ivory, and many other surfaces. So I worry that it would react not positively to the clay.
It doesn't say clay on there, but it does say leather.
Yeah, it does say leather.
Which is kind of porous.
And it does say paintings.
And it does say other materials.
I know.
Yeah.
Thanks, wax polish. You know what? I'm going to try it out. Give me a day. I'm going to try it out. Join us on Wednesdays. I usually do a little recap because I want to know. I haven't thought of trying to use it on polymer clay. I know it'll make it kind of not dull, but like have a little soft sheen to it. So yeah, let's test that out. Sorry, I can't answer your question officially, but that is a good thing and possibly a video. So thanks, Mary. All right, and our next question.
Janine on YouTube also is asking if you have a cleaner to suggest for aluminum items.
Aluminum is tough to clean. So we're getting the question of if we have a cleaner for aluminum items. What I would use for that is I might want to go back to the polishing pad because this you can actually sort of adjust how much you press on it. Aluminum is such a soft metal, it is really difficult to clean. But I would recommend using the polishing pad because again, you can control how much you're pressing on that aluminum, especially if it's, I'm picturing like an aluminum wire if you have that, so that way you can kind of just smooth down what you need, and it depends on what is inside that aluminum. Usually it's aluminum throughout, but this should be a good solution for that. I wouldn't recommend dipping it in any solution. I think that might have adverse effects. In fact, I think it'll probably end up blackening the aluminum, which I would hate to see.
Do you suppose the anti-tarnish methods here would help once the aluminum is polished to keep it so?
I think so. I think actually in that instance I would probably use the bags just because it's going to give you a little bit more protection overall as opposed to just the little pad inside there. So yeah, that's what I would recommend for aluminum.
Cool.
All right, so we are going to start talking about some of these other solutions that we have here. Now these are the little bead boxes, and you guys have probably seen these in our Beadaholique Basics, but now we are offering the empty boxes, and this is really fun because they have these little removable pieces here, so you can actually put larger beads, and you can just sort of set that inside there so you can do longer beads. Now the center piece is firm, so that's set in there, but you can remove the little side pieces there. So I have one that's been sort of set up with some lovely beads, you can just sort of see. And again, I love how you can see through the top. It makes it really nice and easy.
Yeah.
So again, you can have your longer beads in here, and you can see that I've just set that extra piece in there. But you can have all kinds of different beads in there, crystals, all the way to findings. And if you wanted to, if you have a lot of metal pieces in there as opposed to beads, you can put one of those little tarnish pads in there as well at the bottom.
And would putting one of those tarnish pads in like you did protect all the different compartments?
It should, yeah, because again, this isn't fully sealed, but it will at least help for, you know, the friends that are next to it. Right. And if you do put it in there and you do put something on top of it, let's say you wanted to, you know, make this whole big thing, all of your clasps, you can absolutely have this touch the metal. It doesn't hurt it to touch it. So don't worry about like, oh, it needs to have its own separate compartment. It's like, nope, if it's on top of it, it won't hurt it at all.
That's a good point.
So that, yeah, so that's a good little solution there. All right, so yeah, so Alexandra was mentioning that we do sell the tubes, these plastic tubes, separately. So what's nice about these is they come with their little caps, and you can fill them with whatever you like. So I have some jump rings down here, some larger beads. It's not just meant for the smaller tubes. And, you know, a lot of the things that you'll buy from bead stores or even from us will have big stickers on them so that you can identify what they are, but perhaps you want a solution where you can see a little bit more of what's in each tube, so you can buy these and then sort of replace those tubes as well.
Or, yeah, if you don't want to buy the tubes, then if you buy seed beads, obviously you'll have tubes left over that can be repurposed. And I think a lot of people really like to make use of what they have. And so
absolutely.
Even if it's got labels and stickers, you can get over that.
Well, you know, you can take a lot of those stickers off with a little Goo Gone. Like if you don't need to indicate what it is, like if you just know what it is, or if you want to, you can actually write on the top of these, on these little extra pieces here, so you can say like, oh, this is my 5mm 20 gauge jump ring, you know.
Yeah, Sharpie pen would be good for that.
Perfect. And then the other little thing that we have here is we have these little guys, and these are really great. Again, you get that visual aspect of being able to see what's inside, and this is going to hold some possibly larger beads for you, which is going to be great. And then we have, and they come actually in this little solution here, so you can see that I've taken two of those out. So again, you get that beautiful representation of what you'd have in here, so you can have all of those little indications in here as well. And let's say you did want to house some of your metal pieces in here. Again, you can pop one of those little tarnish pads in there at the bottom and then place your pieces on top.
And those actually look a bit more airtight. Do they screw closed or do they just pop?
They just pop
shut?
closed.
Okay.
Yep. So you can just pop them out.
Yeah.
And then they just pop closed. They do have a good seal to them, so they're not going to fall out too easily unless you have really heavy gemstones in there. But these are really, really good for that. Cool.
Right. Now, just ahead of this, let's please talk about this amazing thing you've done here, which brings together the best of both worlds. You have decorated a needle case in the most brilliant way. Okay? All right, let's just take a minute. Let's just take a gasp here at what Kat has done.
I don't know. I'm silly.
It's fantastic. I love you.
So that is coated in a peyote stitch, and what I like. Okay, so it comes like this, and it comes where you can take the top off, and it's just separated. And I don't know about everybody else, but I tend to lose things like crazy. So when I was creating this, the first thing I wanted to do was make sure that I knew how to connect it. So I added this little chain to it so I can, you know, just get my needles out from the top there.
It's brilliant.
Just kind of come out.
It's just beautiful.
And then I know you're making fun of me, but I love it.
I'm serious.
But this was actually, it was really fun. And also, I mean, you know, among all the things on your table, you're going to see that. You might lose that guy, but you're going to see that. And this also, I have a little hook on my desk so I can actually hang it as well.
Oh, stop.
I know. It's brilliant. So why the two different sizes? So this one is going to be great for your size, your beading needles, which are probably going to be like a 12 or a 10. And this is going to be great if you do a lot of loom work, because this will accommodate a loom needle.
Nice.
So you can kind of have both. And I clearly have both. So I really like using those.
That is fantastic. Okay, so next to that, you've got something
the
else.
last little needle solution we have is this cool little magnetic thing. And it has magnets on both sides, so you can see that there's my little needles right in there. So this will keep those nice and tidy. Because I don't know if, I feel like at some point, if you're a sewer or a beater, you've probably stepped on a needle, and it's no fun. So this will keep it on your table and safely locked away.
This is my big takeaway from all this. I'm embarrassed to say that I still store my needles working here in a little baggie, and there's no reason for that. There's just no reason
There's
for
no
that.
reason for the baggie.
So you've thoroughly inspired me there.
I hope so.
Yeah. So what else do we have to cover? We've really gone
Oh, did I
over-
talk about, because I know this is in the giveaway, so I want to talk about it really fast. This is a bead scoop, this little guy here. It actually kind of looks like one of those things that the waiters use
shoehorn?
for the crummers at the table. I don't know. But like you can scoop, and then this is easy to fill the tubes here. So you can scoop and fill the tubes. So let's say you pour out your tube and you only use a few beads, you can easily scoop it and put it back in there, as opposed to trying to scoop with the tube, which is always fun to watch people do. Because I'm just like I'm trying to get it in there, and then I just grab my bead scoop, and it's like, oh, done.
Very handy. Well, along those lines, we also have a handy little
Oh yeah, this
tool
is kind of neat.
here. These are little, storage containers basically, but the design of them is such that you can put flat back stones in, and when they are upside down on you, you just give a little tap, and it kind of does all the work of bringing a lot of them facing upward. So that's kind of what it's designed for. But then there's also the magical pick, and this, with the little resin tip, will pick up your flat backs and probably work with other seed beads and other stones like that as well. So that's kind of a handy tool. My other main go-to for saving space particularly is the caliper. And so this will measure your millimeters on one side and your inches on the other. And I use this day in, day out working here for sure. So that's another handy tool to have. And then actually over in this corner, another handy thing as we're going across is the, remind me what it's called, Kat.
It's the spool tamer.
Right.
I
and
love those
so
things.
I have soft touch beading cord here, and it comes through the whole of this elastic band that just fits right over the top, and then you can dispense yourself some wire without it all flying off. And so oftentimes these spools will come with a plastic sleeve that snaps in, but if you've lost it or prefer to be able to pull your cord off easily without kinking, that's a great solution. Beat the spool tamer.
Okay. So what have I been doing over here? I have been using the polishing pad, and I know that these cases are aluminum, so this is what I've been doing. So
very
I've been
handy.
trying to rub and rub and rub and go through that, and you can see that it's coming off here, all that tarnish there. I mean, it's not really tarnish, it's just kind of cleaning the metal, but you can see that it's really shiny at that one spot now, as opposed to over here where it's a bit more dull. So this is my little shiny spot. So this does work really great on aluminum, because I was like, you know what, dang it, I'm gonna figure this out. So yeah, so if you just take it, you can actually see, let me find a clean little spot here. Okay, so we have that clean little spot there, and I'm gonna rotate it so I get to one of those more dull spots there. So all I'm gonna do is just kind of rub it over, just very gently.
You remind me of one of those nice people at conventions who are demonstrating some great cleaning product, and they take your jewelry and they do such a good
You
job.
just clean it.
You just
Or
sit there and watch them.
Yeah, I went to a convention once where it was oh gosh, where was I? But this guy had this like shoe cleaning solution, and he only cleaned one shoe, and then he wouldn't clean my other shoe unless I bought it, and I was like, oh, you sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. Of course I had to buy it because I needed my shoes clean. Can't walk around the rest of the day with one clean shoe. All right. Sorry, we're all giggling over here. Okay, so this actually does work for aluminum, so I'm actually glad I tested that out. So the other thing, I was really trying to rub this, and obviously this is not jewelry. This is a piece, so like a storage piece. So be careful when you do it with the aluminum. But I think that does solve the question of yes, the polishing pads should work for that. And you can just see that this is getting all nice and soiled, and sometimes
Right.
it'll get on your hands. Don't worry, you can just wash that off. It's just
So I'm
tarnish.
guessing this fabric one would do the same thing.
Let's see. Let's test it out. So this is probably more for your sterling silver. So again, I just don't want to rub this off, but let's go ahead and kind of see what we can do. I'm giving it a nice little clean. So it's not cleaning it as much because this is probably meant a little bit more to buff in terms of just kind of giving it a little extra shine.
Yeah, it looks like the other one was a bit more effective.
The other one is a bit more effective here. You can see that it does start to come off on the pad there just a little bit. It's just a little gray. But yeah, if you want it to be shiny, your polishing pad is going to be your better bet. So there you go. Cool.
Wonderful.
Just testing stuff out here. That way it answers our question. But yeah, I will check on the wax on the polymer clay because we do have several pieces that are like the crystal clay. So let me go ahead and check on that. I do wonder how it would look if because it says that it doesn't add fingerprints or anything like that, and you can just really do a really thin layer. It should work. I just don't know how it would work because it's a porous material, but furniture's porous, and so we're going to find out. All right, so we're going to wrap things up here, you guys, if you don't have any other questions. Oh, did we talk about our bead board here?
Why don't you touch on that? Because
I'll touch on that while we're waiting for our giveaway winner. So get your last comments in really, really fast. All right, so this is a cool little bead board here, and let me move some of this stuff off of here because I want to show you what it looks like underneath.
Yeah, now this mat is really probably one of the most important things I ever use.
Yeah, so this kind of feels like it's like a thick sort of felt type material, but it's really great for beading. And underneath here you can see this is a hard bead board. Now the great thing about this is if you do have beads, and let's say you are working on a project here and your beads are all on your table, just like so, you can actually kind of move this, and it's almost like a TV tray, so you can actually sit on the couch with this, but then all of your beads are going to stay as you move it. So the other thing too is that you can buy the board with the perfectly matched mats, and you'll get 3 of them, and they're just different colors, slightly different thicknesses. But yeah, so that's a great little solution there. So then this can be the piece that you sort of move around all the time on your table or
you
desk
get a
or
project going, and then you stack your next mat on top, and you start your next project, and that way you're not having to put everything away from every project. You can have multiple things going at once.
Yeah. I like these things, and while I have a second, this is one of my favorite tools in my life. So you just kind of get your bead scoop, and they go right into, I know, isn't it satisfying? It's so satisfying to clean.
Well, that's the other aspect of this organizational conversation is I think that as beaders, it appeals to us. The whole sorting and cleaning and keeping things tidy and then bringing them out again.
Well, and also, again, that, it's so easy to start something and get all excited, and then everything is everywhere, and then you don't know where it is, and you're frustrated, so you don't want to do it. So there is sort of, I know a lot of this stuff appeals to the OCD inside of me that keeps everything nice and tidy, but it allows me to go, I know exactly what I want, and I can do this. It's not this whole process to go and hunt down, where was that shoebox with all my seed beads? Where was this? And it's all in my crafter's tote. Like, I can kind of pack it all together, and it's all in one space. Also, that way you feel like you actually have the time to create something, as opposed to, it's going to take me like 30 minutes to find everything and pull it all out and blah. It's like, no, it's like 3 minutes. Oh, here we go, right where I left off, And I've seen people, you can actually, on these little bead mats, you can sort of put a little needle down into it, so it's like your needle will stay there. Lots of different things that I've seen people do over the years, and it really is a very personal thing, but it's also a great way to just make it easy on yourself,
Working
This is supposed
smarter,
to be fun.
not harder.
Yeah. Work smarter.
Yeah.
With your needle case.
Great.
All right. Do we have a giveaway winner? All right. So congratulations to Trish Perry. So congratulations, Trish. You are going to win this amazing giveaway. all you need to do is to just send us an email at service@beadaholique.com. That's service@beadaholique.com, and we will find out where we can send this giveaway to you. And we are so excited. This is a great little giveaway. So lots of storage opportunities here for you, and we have those bags and the scoop, which you're gonna love. So thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in. This has been really fun. We've just kind of shared some of our little tricks, and I know it seems like there's a lot of stuff here, but you guys can shop our entire product collection over at Beadaholique.com, where we've listed everything that we've used here. So it's a nice, easy solution. And again, we do have specific videos that walk you through exactly how to use some of the cleaners that we were discussing and some of the other pieces. So.
Right. Now, to find the product collection, they go to the new and trending tab. Is that right?
Yes, that's at Beadaholique.com. We have a little new and trending tab. We also have it in a beautiful banner there at the top for you guys as well. All right, thanks so much for joining us, you guys, and we'll be back here for the first Friday of every month with our next class. So join us in September as we talk about, I don't know yet. All right, bye everyone. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.